Okay, so I mentioned 2013, right? So when I was married to my first husband, we were we were already going through some toxic shit. When I think about it in hindsight now, there was a lot of toxic shit because of what was going on within the family, the fact that they did not want me with their son, the fact that I was not Jewish, and I have nothing against the Jewish community. Hey, I'm a Puerto Rican woman, but apparently being, they wanted a Jewish woman. And I was Puerto Rican, which I don't think they liked very much. So he had the opportunity to change that and not enable it, but he didn't, and that was enough. That was that. But in 2013, my ex basically told me that he had been cheating on me. I'll never forget it because it was a Wednesday. I remember that. It was a Wednesday in September, I think, or August. No, but I was working. I was still working in the city, and I asked him what was going on, and because he said he would talk to me later, and I'm like, no, you can't just tell me you have something to tell me and then expect me to go to work. And now it's in my head. And then he told me, and I was very hurt. And I don't remember a lot of that day. I remember crying once in a while in the bathroom, and I remember going to the doctor to get tested for every fucking STD I could think of. Because holy shit. I think I remember the ride home. I dissociated a lot. I do remember slapping him. I do remember becoming extremely abusive, and that I am ashamed of. Because I never wanted to do that. And it happened, and it was on me, and there was no excuse. There was never an excuse for that behavior. I am working on forgiving myself for that. But I was so angry. And, that pretty much killed the marriage in 2013. It was, and what I realized, it was a grief process, actually. I realized it took me 6 years later, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, yes, 19, yeah, 6 years. It took me 6 years to grieve that marriage, to finally let it go, because it was never going to be the same again. It was never going to be what I thought it was, because it never was what I thought it was. And so finding out that day in 2013, 2 years into our marriage, by the way, he waited 2 years into our marriage. I was already mortified. That I had to, I didn't want, I was afraid to divorce the guy then, because I'm like, oh my God, we just had a wedding. It wasn't just that, but I wanted it to work at that time. Okay, believe it or not, I wanted it to work, but I was so fucking angry at the same time because of everything. But my behavior, there was no excuse for that behavior. There was no excuse for me. There was no excuse for slapping him like that. There was no excuse for the way I treated him in those 6 years. Really. No. Yes, I was angry. Still, not enough. Abuse is abuse, and that's it. And I'm learning to cope with that part of myself in trauma therapy. It's like I said, it's taken 2.5 years to get here. But after the day I've had today, I never thought that 2013 has a rival now, and it's 2024. And I didn't realize that I would ever have a worse year of my life ever again, except for maybe when my husband dies. And that would kill me. I would never want, if he goes first, the rate I'm going, I might just have a heart attack with the rate I'm going, or he might, because he takes in everything. You want to meet an empath? That man is a real thing. He is a real one. I didn't know, honestly, what that was for real for years. I thought I was one, but no, I wasn't. I was mirroring. I wasn't even an empath. I was mirroring, okay? I didn't even realize that mirroring is something that autistic people do, that people with autism do. Or are diagnosed on the spectrum, what have you. Some people do. And that was a thing I did a lot, actually. And I didn't realize that. And I'm learning that about myself now. If I had only known all those years ago, I would have actually had tools to work on that, Oh God, I'm learning now. I'm learning now how to emotion regulate, and I'm failing with flying colors tonight. Let me tell you, uh, that meltdown, fucking was horrible. I broke the protocol. I broke the fucking protocol. You know, when I have meltdowns, I am supposed to have it away from my husband so that we could talk about it later. That was the protocol. Unfortunately, I had no emotion regulation. I had nothing. After what happened to me today, after losing my job today, I have nothing. I have no emotion regulation because I worked so hard to get the fucking job in the first place. So it's a lot of thinking about that and realizing that 2024 is now worse than 2013. Holy shit. I know I'm talking a lot, so I probably should stop here.